Hey, fifth grade, you ready to take some notes? Today we're going to talk a little bit about polygons. You should have received already some papers to actually take those notes on, just because it makes it easier for everybody. The first one we're going to do, you should have the one that says polygons on top. I'll give you a second to take that out, and then we'll fire right along. First of all, I got to find my right pen here. First of all, under polygons, somewhere off to the side here, maybe you could write it next to it over here. Let me get my pen in motion. I guess we can start off with red. Let's see how that works. Yeah, sure. Under polygons, the first thing we have to do is define exactly what this bad boy polygon is. And for something to be a polygon, two things have to be true. Number one, it has to be made of straight lines. It has to be straight lines, no curves, no circles, no roundy things. Okay, and the second thing is it needs to be what we in math call closed. And by closed, all we mean is that there are no openings. And the way I like to think about it is this. Okay, let's say you have a rectangle, but the rectangle, that's terrible. Terrible, Mr. Hahn, that's terrible. But the rectangle has an opening in it. So if you had ants in here, these ants could get out that little hole and escape and get on all your picnic food and whatever. By closed, it means that that rectangle has no openings for the ants to get out. Your little sandwich would be safe from the ants because they have to stay in the box. So for something to be a polygon, it has to have those two things. You know, a polygon just means something with many sides. And we've got some examples down here. We need to name the polygon right here, what it's called, and we're just going to throw some examples over there. And most of these you know and you're familiar with, but hey, you never know. Maybe some slip through the cracks. The first thing is a three-sided polygon. Obviously, I'll bet you all know is a triangle. Still getting used to writing on this. A triangle. Unfortunately for you, I can make these pretty nice over here. I just come over here to my handy dandy little thing, and you know, there's my triangle. It could look like that. It could look like this. You know, those are all triangle, all three-sided shapes, all straight lines, all closed. My next shape then is a four-sided shape. This one you have to be careful with because usually when people think about four-sided shapes, they say, well, that's a square or that's a rectangle. Well, those are both four-sided shapes, but there is a general name for a four-sided shape, and it is called a quadrilateral. Let's see if I can fit that in here. It's a quadrilateral. I'm going to run out of room. Quadrilateral, and it is a four-sided shape. So you over here, and I'll do it, I guess I'll work with my pen here. A four-sided shape could be a rectangle, could be a square. You know, it could be any of those sort of things. So there's your four-sided shape. A five-sided shape we call a pentagon. Pentagon. And a five-sided shape, you know, could be just about anything with five sides. The usual one we think about kind of looks like this. Oh boy, Mr. Hahn's struggling with this pen here. I might for now just give you the one from here. Here is a pentagon. That's usually the one we think about. But you have to remember, any five-sided shape would be a pentagon. So it could look something like this. It could be a boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, that kind of looks like the one I got. It could be one really long line, a short line. That's 3, 4, 5. So but this is the one we usually think about, this one here. A six-sided shape, I am sure you have heard of the hexagon. Hexagon. And again, I am going to use my handy dandy tool over here to give you one of those. A hexagon. Looks a little bit like that. You could draw your own over here, I guess. Let's do some other colors. How about that? You know, a six-sided shape gets to be a little tough. You could have, let's see, one. If I go to, maybe I'm turning my board a little too much here. A hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, not real good shapes. Now we're going to start running into trouble for Mr. Hahn. A seven-sided shape is called a heptagon. H-E-P-T-A-G-O-N. Wrote it outside the box there a little bit there. A heptagon, and it has 7 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do 6 a little differently than that. 5 and 6 and 7. Anything with 7 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8-sided shapes. That one I know you've seen many times. It is called an octagon. Octagon. Octa meaning 8 of something. Gon, 8 sides. And oh wait, I don't have an octagon over here. Well, that's a shame. I probably could draw an octagon with lines here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not again my best work. It's your typical stop sign. I wish I could draw it. Maybe my lines are a little too thick. Maybe I can draw it small here. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4 is straight down. 5, 6, 7, and 8. If we were in class, I'd draw you a good one. A 10-sided shape. A 10-sided shape. This one you probably have not heard of before, or maybe you have. It's called a decagon, and I think we've talked about deca before, like decade and all that sort of stuff. Decagon looks. Let's see. That's right. Decagon here. Deca. Decagon. 10-sided shape. I don't know if I even really want to try to draw you one of those over here. It would not be too. It's not going to be pretty here, but I'll try it. Let's do this. 1 side, 2 side, 3 side, 4 side, 5 side, 6 side. 6 sides. 6 sides. Let's try some more sides. 7 sides, 8 sides, 9 sides, and 10 sides. Well, it looks a little like a bird. I don't know if that was very good. And then the 12-sided shape is called a dodecagon. Not sure we can fit that all in that square. We'll try. The dodecagon. And you're going to feel my pain here for 12 sides because who knows if I can do it. Let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Look at my little dinosaur sort of shape there. So those are the shapes and those are your names. You have, you know, your notes there, and you're going to need to look at those because the book will ask you questions on those. If you're given a shape, they might give you like the letter L in block form. You see over here. And they will ask you to give the name of that polygon. And if that's the case, you're going to need to count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this shape is a 6-sided shape, so it is called a hexagon. It is called a hexagon. So hopefully you got that. Pretty easy stuff. Now I need you to take out the second, one of the three pieces, the one that has the word similar on top of it. We got lots of notes to take today. Similar, I'll give you a second to find that. Now what does it mean, because we're talking about shapes, what does it mean for a shape to be similar? And here is the definition of similar. Similar means it is the same shape, but not necessarily the same size. Same shape, but not necessarily. It doesn't have to be same size. Okay, same shape, not same size. And I like to think about this. You have to understand this little thought here. While these three are all three triangles, they are not all similar. What you need to think about when you think about being similar is, I like to call it my balloon theory. I should write that off to the side. Think of the balloon theory. Kind of came up with this one on my own, by the way. And the balloon theory states that, think about this shape or these shapes as balloons. Okay, if you blew up that balloon, all the sides when you blow a balloon, every side of a balloon gets bigger proportionately, they call it. In other words, when you blow a balloon, one side doesn't stay flat and be a straight line and the other one blow out. They all get bigger accordingly. So if you look at these two triangles, the two that are similar are this one and this one. This one is not similar because it's more of a squatty. I mean, it's actually more of an equilateral triangle where all the sides are equal. With this one, you can tell, obviously, this one side is shorter than the other two, and that's the same on both of these. If this were a balloon and I blew it up, it would look like this one. It would not look like this one because this is a fatter triangle proportionately. Same thing with these rectangles down here. Which two would be proportional there? If you take a look at it, hopefully you can kind of see it. You know, this one here, if it was a balloon and you blew it up, it would look again like this one. This one is a shorter, narrower, and longer rectangle than that. So these two are similar, and they're not similar to this. The stars, if you look at them, which two would be similar? Hopefully you can kind of see that. This one is similar to this one. If this was a balloon and I blew it up, this one seems to be a little squatty and out of proportion compared to the other two. So that, fifth graders, is basically what it means to be similar. And then the last one you got is, when we talk about shapes, what does it mean to be congruent? Okay, congruent means they have to be exactly the same. Exactly the same. Both size and shape. Size and shape. So if you're looking at these three stars here, okay, the two that are exactly alike are these two. Those are congruent. Looking at these triangles here, now please understand, you know, you can change the orientation of the shape and it still be congruent. In other words, you know, this triangle and this triangle are both congruent. Okay, it's just that this one has moved, maybe turned over or flipped or whatever. They are the same size and the same shape. And the same thing holds true here. We've got a couple hexagons, and this one are congruent. Congruent means exactly the same. Just got to get used to a little bit of mathematical jargon there. So hopefully that helps you out. Now you can be experts on polygons and being similar and being congruent. So there you go, 5th grade. Hopefully you enjoyed that little lesson there, and I will talk to you a little bit later.